Listen to this nonsense.
Spider-Man perfections.
I was an atheist. So
what? You
yeah.
went from atheist? Darn, man. And now you in the Eastern Orthodox Church, huh? Glory to the triune God, man. Shoot.
Yeah. Thank you, Sam. So like all the churches, you know, like, because I know you like everybody, you know, you like all the churches, and you try to, you know, get everybody together and all that stuff.
Don't soften up the knife. What's the question?
Well, there's really no knife, but so how would you convince like somebody that, I guess, God is actively preserving all the churches?
Our Lady of Zaytun, Our Lady of Fatima, the Eucharistic miracles. So tell me that's demonic.
Made up apostolic church doesn't exist. There is no apostolic Christianity that accepts all these different schisms. So did it ever occur to Sam Shamoun to look to see what the church of the first 1,000 years said about itself and ecclesiology? Oh, turns out the church of the first 1,000 years doesn't teach Sam Shamoun's ecclesiology. Does he ever talk about that? No, he doesn't talk about that. Because he's running a scam which allows him to have a giant ministry online, like all the stupid Protestants that he's argued against for 20 years, to claim that he's some sort of Catholic apologist. And because Catholicism is humanist, he's able to have this broad, made-up idea of all of the, quote, apostolic churches. Just totally made up. Doesn't exist. Where in the first 1,000 years of Christianity can you find that schismatics and heretics are part of the same ecclesial body? It doesn't exist. It's his made-up nonsense church. Now watch him crash out over this, and his stupid-ass argument is that there's miracles at Zaytun. Then that would prove Coptic theology. How is Mary going to appear to schismatics and heretics and Orthodox and Roman Catholics, and she's what? Teaching them that they're all the same church? She doesn't even teach that. I mean, if the apparitions were teaching that, maybe he would have a point there. But they don't even say that.
It's of Satan.
Well, like, how do we know that it is not demonic?
That's for you to say. And then what? If you're wrong, then God is going to use that measure and bury you in hell in case Eastern Orthodox Church is false.
Well, Sam, by that same logic, when you say all the apparitions are true and they're teaching all the same church, then you're also going to be judged by that standard, and you can be condemned for promoting a absolutely contradictory nonsense position.
So when Mary appears in Egypt in front of 1 million and miraculous healings are the result, and then the Egyptian government acknowledges this is not something fake, it's a genuine apparition they don't know how to explain.
Yeah, but what are we supposed to go by? Are we supposed to go by apparitions to teach us our ecclesiology? Or do we already have a laid down standard of the first 1,000 years of the ecumenical councils that teach us that there's one holy Catholic apostolic church? The church of the 7/8 ecumenical councils of the first 1,000 years has laid out explicitly what the ecclesiology of the church is. It is not based on apparitions supposedly saying that all the churches in schism are now just magically one church. This is made up Sam Shamoun bullshit.
And she's acknowledging the Trinity. She's God in the flesh. That was Satan, right? I want you to say it. That was Satan.
I'm not going to make that judgment.
Oh, no, make that judgment.
He's asking a fair question, and Sam's trying to make him say some sort of quasi, like trying to make the guy blaspheme or sound like this is a really bizarre, nasty rhetorical trick to try to make the guy seem like he's blaspheming by asking a fair question.
Because you're a coward now.
So he just calls the guy a coward by saying, I'm not going to make a judgment on the apparition I don't know. And I mean, why do you guys still defend this guy? He's an absolute lunatic.
Make the judgment.
That is not my point. I'm not going to say anything.
Because when I told you, Our Lady of Zaytun, Our Lady of Fatima, Eucharistic miracles, and these diverse traditions, Catholic and Orthodox, these Oriental.
Okay, so the Orthodox Church has a tendency of not accepting or running with so-called Eucharistic miracles. So by this very measure that he's talking about, the entire Orthodox Church would be cutting itself off from Scam Shamoun's ecumenist ecclesiology. Remember, Sam just said, if you doubt these visions and these miracles, you're basically a blasphemer. That's what he told this guy. And you're going to be judged for that. Okay, but Scam, your whole argument if the Orthodox Church rejects Eucharistic miracles in Rome, then the Orthodox Church is cut off and damning itself. You idiot.
Orthodox. You go, how do we know it's not demonic? That's what I want to ask you. Show me it's demonic. Not by assuming what you've yet to prove, that will I reject the filioque and the
No, he's asking you, how do you know? And then you're just saying you're a blasphemer and it's demonic if you don't believe it. Totally bad faith.
papacy and therefore cannot be of God.
Yeah. So my response to that is that I want to hear your position clearly. Is it that are you saying that these miracles are great proofs of?
That's one of many proofs which you have not addressed. So
how could it be a proof if it's amongst conflicting sects? The Oriental Orthodox Church rejects almost all of Rome's ecumenical councils and dogmatic teaching. They don't accept the last 20-ish ecumenical councils. How are they the same church? Then they're not in communion.
Explain it to me. What were these apparitions that have been bona fide apparitions done for the Catholic Church?
They're bona fide by who? The Egyptian government. So my religion is going to be based around the bona fides and the verification of the Egyptian government. Are you serious? Like one of the most corrupt governments in the Middle East. But if they say an apparition is bona fide, it is. This is so retarded.
Oriental Orthodox.
I mean, why is it? This man is mentally unstable and actually retarded. I don't care that he can memorize a bunch of verses and he knows the flaws in the Quran. He can't reason his way out of a paper bag on basic logic. What he said is just preposterous. What Orthodox person cares if the Egyptian government says that a Zaytun apparition is real? Are you serious?
Church, in fact,
I mean, the Egyptian government has a history of supporting the Muslim Brotherhood. This is so stupid.
Can you show me a similar miracle for your Eastern Orthodox Church of this magnitude?
Yeah, we don't base the religion on claims of magnitudes of miracles, and also your miracles contradict. The Orientals can't be the same church as Rome if they're in schism. And you can't say, well, they're not because of ecumenism. Okay, so what happened in ecumenism to suddenly make the doctrines not the same? Did the Oriental Church suddenly change all of its doctrines? Did the Roman Church suddenly change all of its doctrines? Oh, it did? Oh, if it changes doctrines, then it's a contradiction. You see the trap that you get in when you go down this route of idiocy? But this guy's a complete fraud.
Point one to me.
Okay, so to address the first part of the question, Christ says clearly that a wicked and adulterous generation seeks son.
Exactly. This dude this props to this guy, Counterdox. He knew exactly where to go. Jesus says wicked and adulterous generation seeks a sign and a wonder. And you just told me that the true made up multi-ecclesial model that you came up with via Vatican II is proven by miracle claims.
Signs and wonders. So I personally
asked for a sign and wonder. That's why you're a son of Satan.
Yeah, he did. So he knows this guy had a good argument, and he immediately just calls this guy a son of Satan.
Didn't ask for the sign. God gave the sign. So
you're begging the question. How do I know that that's a sign? That's what the guy asked you.
Try it again. So when your light in Easter supposedly lights up, because that's because you're wicked and a whore. That's why on Easter, supposedly the Eastern.
So he thinks that the guy is saying that any miracle makes you a wicked whore because you're claiming miracles. That's not what he's arguing. I actually think this guy's brain damaged. I actually think Scam Shamoun has brain damage. There's something wrong with him because this guy's asking obviously a very clear, fair question. And the first thing this guy does is say, oh, so if you think that anyone that claims that there's miracles is using that, then they're demonic. So you're saying Orthodox Church is demonic. The guy's not saying that. He's asking you, how do you delineate between true and false claims of miracles and visions?
Orthodox candle lights up miraculously by the Holy Fire. So that means you're a wicked whore because you want a sign and wonder?
No.
We didn't ask for the sign and wonder. We're asking you how to delineate between true and false ones.
According to my paradigm.
Okay, so let's repeat the question.
So see, he's just attacking the guy. Doesn't even know what he's asking.
Can you point to a miracle of that magnitude done for your...
How do we know that it's a miracle and that it's what's the magnitude measure that tells us a true and a false miracle? So him adding quote magnitude to it, it's like, dude, how do I know that it is a miracle first? And you adding magnitude to, oh, what's the magnitude, right? Pop, magnitude. Come on, dude. Is his audience all just like 80 IQ brown people? Like, who else is in this audience?
Church of the same magnitude done for the Catholic and Oriental Orthodox Church? I'm still waiting for an answer.
And why is that sort of miracle necessary?
Because
Yeah, exactly.
when I showed you that one of the signs that God gives, these are his churches, you poo-pooed it. You didn't want to address it, so I'm not going to flip it.
Yeah, but that's the thing in question. You're begging the question that this is a sign of his true church. He's asking you, how do we know this is a specific miracle that's valid that we should follow?
On you, what has God done to show you and me that the Eastern Orthodox Church has the fullness of the truth?
Well, yeah, so the magnitude, right? I'm thinking of Community, like magnitude from Community, pop, right? So the magnitude level, well, if it's at a magnitude level of over 5,000, then it's a true miracle, right? And how do you determine miracle magnitude, by the way? Pop.
I'm still waiting for an answer. You're doing the dodgeball, and I'm going to cuss.
No, you did a tu quoque, you fat slime ball.
Right. Well,
answer the question.
It's two questions. It's two questions you're asking.
He asked you a question, and then you turn it back on him because you don't have an answer in your nasty ass cat apartment.
One, you're
the hell out of you, stupid bastard. You can't even answer questions.
Look, see this guy? This guy is like unhinged, literally an insane person. And just because he memorizes a bunch of texts, people think he's like, oh, the guy is living in a disgusting cat infested hovel. He's a fat slob. And you think he's like the greatest apologist? He's a mentally unstable. This guy's insane.